Hi guys, here is Flavia from The Art of Inspiration. Welcome to my new episode on sketchbook inspiration. It has been a while since we last spoke. That's due to the heavy workload I had with exams and paperwork for university. But anyway, today I want to share with you a comic I created a while back. My goal was to create a little story within 2 pages. I created this story back in March when I drove down to Ticino, that's the southern part of Switzerland. This was the perfect opportunity to try out my newly bought soft brush pens by Faber-Castell. I have a set of 8 pens in different grey shades and I quite enjoy them so far. They are water-based and contain Indian ink, which makes them waterproof once the color fully dries. You will see me use them in a future video as well. Before I started with the page, I made a quick concept sketch on waste paper. Otherwise, I would have had difficulties with the layout of the boxes. On screen you can see the pens I already mentioned. I didn't went crazy with the coloring, I kept it simple with no blending at all. My goal was to create a flat graphic look. I noticed a few things when I worked with those pens. Firstly, you have to keep in mind that the color changes quite a bit when it is fully dried in comparison to its wet state. Multiple layers of the same color can make the color darker to a certain extent. Secondly, I had some issues with apparent brush strokes, which I wanted to avoid due to the graphic look I was going for. This is kind of normal if you work with water-based markers, so I saw that coming. With a second layer of color you can dodge most of the marks. Furthermore, the tips are very soft and flexible, which gave me a great control. They didn't bleed through the moleskin paper and there is hardly any ghosting visible. For the sky and the flower I used colored pencils, which I blended with some water. This is most effective if you use a stiffer brush that you would use for acrylics or gouache. If you use a very soft watercolor brush, it can be hard to really activate and move the color around. The hill wakes up one morning and sees himself surrounded by some beautiful mountains. But there isn't any company around. He decides to search someone that he could talk to. But when he reached the city in the big plain, the people were afraid of his size and fled. The hill was sad and felt lonelier with time passing by. He sat down and started to blend more and more into the landscape. Until one day, when humanity had long forgotten about the hill that once visited their city, an old man planted a flower on the hill's head. As the flower started to grow, the hill awakened and found the first time a friend. He couldn't talk to him, but be sure, he would never feel lonely again.